Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rory with Roaring Jungle, and today I'm gonna release my schedule predictions on how well I think the Bengals are gonna do. But first, let me get a little more comfortable. That's right, it's here. The Joe Burrow jersey just came in time, and let me tell you, I feel a bit swaggy. I feel pretty good. Oh yeah. He's here. The jersey's here, and I'm feeling good. But first, the new intro. Boom. Okay, so the first game of the year is Bengals versus LA Chargers. And with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, I don't think he does a very good job ever when he plays in Cincinnati. So, I mean, there's that. I have faith that Joe Burrow is going to do well in his first game, in his debut. I like the quarterback competition there. I don't. It's not that I hate Tyrod Taylor. It's just I don't think that he comes to Cincinnati very well. Um, the LA Chargers defense is pretty stacked, especially along the defensive line, with Bosa and Ingram on the edges, and I think Casey Hayward's on the outside. I forgot who's on the other DBs, but I know they have a pretty good secondary. But with Derwin James out for the year, I think that the Bengals have too much firepower. And with Joe Mixon, very happy with a new bag, he's gonna do well this game. He's gonna come out rearing to go, and I believe in the Bengals offensive line this year. I'm not saying they're gonna be like world beaters, but I think they're gonna do decent. They're gonna be an upgrade from last year, and I have faith that the Bengals come out with the W in this one. That's right, Bengals win. Joe Burrow's first victory is against the LA Chargers. All right, for the second game of the season, we have the Bengals versus those dreaded Browns, the team from up north. And I don't love this matchup, especially with it being 4 days after Joe's debut. I feel like a primetime game 4 days after his debut, which I think they win, is going to be a little much considering Myles Garrett's back on that defense. You still have Greedy Williams, you still have Denzel Ward, and you add Grant Delpit to the situation. It's gonna be crazy. They got I don't know if they have the Mac, their linebacker, but I mean, the Browns are gonna be tough, especially with the time they played. So I don't have the Bengals winning this game. I think we're gonna take the L in this one. For the third game of the year, the Bengals versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't hate this matchup. I think it's going to be a battle. Philly is a tough team in general. They have a good defense. And where I think their weakness is that wide receiver. I don't believe in a lot of their wide receivers. Jalen Rager, he's new. Deshaun Jackson's old. I think they still have Alshon Jeffrey, and he's kind of slow. So I think they have good tight ends. I like Zach Ertz, and I like Dallas Goedert. I have him on my fantasy team. And Carson Wentz, man, he is a warrior. I actually don't have the Bengals winning that one either. So 1 W, 2 L's so far. Philly's going to come to play. I think we're playing at Philadelphia. I don't see us winning there. I think we take the L. For the fourth game of the year, the Bengals versus Jaguars. And I think that we're back home for this one. So I actually like this because I feel the Jaguars are tanking for Trevor. The Jacksonville's defense is, man, it is nowhere near what it used to be. They are a shadow of the former South. They got rid of all their good players from 2 seasons ago. I don't believe in Gardner Minshew as a quarterback. Well, as the quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is going to play extremely well against that defense. I believe we have too much firepower for that defense to handle. Our running game is going to be too strong. I think that at the fourth week in the season, with injuries hopefully not affecting us too bad, I think we come out against the Jacksonville Jaguars with a W. For the fifth game of the year, we have the Baltimore Ravens, which a lot of people have as a Super Bowl favorite. I think that they're going to blow us out of the water because I feel like from last year, they kind of just upgraded in talent when they added J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State, Patrick Queen out of LSU. They just added and added and added. Lamar Jackson's more comfortable in the system. So I have the Baltimore Ravens really laying it to us. I think we're at Baltimore, so yeah, I think that they're gonna come and just give it to us pretty much. I don't see us really being able to handle that at this point. I think in the future we will, but with a bunch of rookie linebackers, there's not a whole lot of people that can hold Lamar to a bad game for us, I think. So I think we hold the L there too. So right now I have 2 dubs, 3 Ls. For week 6, the Bengals are going against the Indianapolis Colts. And I think this is going to be a really, really good game. I think they're a very well matched team, both offensively and defensively. I think this is a game where special teams is going to come in pretty much clutch. I think that they're going to have to make plays on both sides for either team to win. I don't think that Phillip Rivers is the quarterback he used to be. I still think he can win games, but it's going to be tough. I don't think that he has that arm strength that he used to, and I don't think that he has the wide receivers that he had in LA. So I know they just added weapons on the offense too, and they still have, my God, Quentin Nelson. He's a monster. They just added Michael Pittman Jr. from USC and Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. So, I mean, they added some weapons for Phillip to work with, but I actually have the Bengals coming out here. I think Joe Burrow just goes in and does his thing. I think Mixon's going to have a good game. I know they still have to deal with Leonard on the other side, but I think the Bengals come out with a dub here. Week 6, I think they come out with a W. So week 6, I have 3 dubs and 3 Ls. Week 7, Bengals versus Browns, and this time it's in Cincinnati. And I think that the Bengals really learned from their mistakes the first time. I think that with the Browns coming to Cincinnati, and hopefully by now we have fans in the stands to help out a little bit more. I think that the juice is going to start flowing. I think after a tough game with Indianapolis, the Bengals have really, really got their shit together. And, I think that they're going to start to, get in the rhythm, get in the groove. And I think that the Bengals barely win, but they get that dub. Week number 8, the Bengals have the Tennessee Titans at Cincinnati. So I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think that it's going to be, I think it's going to be kind of boring. I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball. I think that Tennessee has a good secondary, not a great secondary. I like Kevin Byard on the back end and Adoree Jackson, but I think the Bengals can match up wide receiver wise with them. The defensive front for the Titans is what's going to be the key. I don't think the Bengals offensive line can handle that kind of pass rush. They have Harold Landry and who was it? Jadeveon Clowney just signed there too. So, man, I don't think the Bengals get the win here, but I think it's a close game. I had the Tennessee Titans handing the Bengals the L. Week 9, the Bengals have a bye week, and I think they just crush that bye week. I think they just really crush it, Bengals with the W on that one for sure. I believe we're at week 10, and the Bengals are at Pittsburgh. Yup, they are at Schittsburg. They're playing the Squealers. And I don't love us playing at Heinz Field. I don't think we play there very well, but I don't necessarily think the Steelers are a huge threat for the AFC North. I think that they are a well coached team, especially on defense, but I am not believing in them on offense. I think Ben Roethlisberger is old. I think that he is extremely injury prone. I don't believe in them at running back. I think James Conner's average at best. And wide receiver, I don't love them either. I think that them adding Chase Claypool, he's a project, a very, very beastly prospect, but it's prospect nonetheless. I think I think he'll be good one day, but not this season. Juju Smith-Schuster is a man for being on the Bengals. He'd be competing for number two. Um, but yeah, I think that they're too well coached, and playing in Schittsburg is going to be a little bit too much for the Bengals to handle at week 10, and I have us taking the L. Week 11, the Bengals have the Washington football team. Yep, the Washington football team. The Bengals have that to look forward to, and I think that the Bengals are going to absolutely crush the football team. They are going to manhandle them because at this point the Bengals have been through the fire. They've been tested and they will come out strong against this team. I don't believe in the Redskins. They have a few good players along the defensive line front. And they just added a monster. God, Chase Young is a monster. But the Alabama boys on the offensive line too, and Montez Sweat, they got talent, but at linebacker and secondary, I don't believe in them. And I think at skill position, they only really have Terry McLaurin, scary Terry. Dwayne Haskins is ew. So yeah, I have the Bengals crushing them. Week 12, the Bengals have the New York Football Giants, and that's my wife's team. I think the Bengals are going to get the win here. I don't love the New York Giants' defense. I don't even really know who's even on it at this point. I think they just got a DB like 3 weeks ago. So there's that. The Bengals are going to, I think, honestly mutilate them because I don't think they have anyone that scares you at the defense, either defensive line really, or the linebacker or the DB. Like they got rid of all their good players, honestly. Ever since they got rid of Landon Collins, like they've plummeted. Wide receiver, they got Darius Slayton and Shepard, but both of those guys are number twos at best. They still got Saquon Barkley. He's a beast. I do like their offensive line. I like what they're doing there, but they're still young. And Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, we'll see this year. I did like what I saw from him last year. Like he is very mobile and has the arm talent, but he's got to stop fumbling. I have the Bengals winning against the New York Football Giants. Rematch in the making: Joe Burrow versus Tua Tagovailoa. Bengals versus Dolphins, and it's at the Dolphins. So I think it'd be a good game. I think the Dolphins are a well-coached team now. I like their head coach Flores, and I think it's going to be a really good game. At this point, Joe is, like I said, he's tested. I don't know how much time Tua would have had by now, but I do like Tua, and if Joe Burrow hadn't had the season he did last year, like Tua is a definite franchise quarterback to me. But I have a good feeling about Joe Burrow going into Miami and winning, honestly. So I think they get the W there too. So the Dallas Cowboys at week 13. And let me say, I really like the Dallas Cowboys team. Like they are strong pretty much everywhere. Except for safety. but they're decent. Man, I love Dak. Dak's a good quarterback. Not great. He's a good quarterback. Zeke is an elite running back. Their offensive line is still probably top 13, top 10 in the league. Um, Tight end, I do like Blake Jarwin, and their wide receiver core is crazy. It is insane. I love Michael Gallup coming out of Colorado. CeeDee Lamb is a monster. Amari Cooper, whenever he's not crying, he's also really good. Super technical route runner. Um, yeah, their defense. I love the linebacker Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, Chidobe Awuzie at cornerback. The defensive line is strong. Tank Lawrence leading the way. They got some good players. So I have the Bengals losing this one, even though it's at home. Yep, holding the L. So I believe it's week 15, and I have the Steelers losing to the Bengals. Yup, I think Joe Burrow learns from the first time they play. I believe he takes the L to heart because I know he's going to hate the Steelers as much as we do. I think that the Bengals will adapt to how the Steelers play. I believe that the offensive side of the ball for the Steelers is going to be pretty much found out to be lacking, and the Bengals are going to take advantage. I have them winning the second time around. Yep, holding that dub. Okay, Bengals at Houston, the Texans. And I actually think the Bengals, this is a shootout for me. I think that the Texans are going to get their shit together. And I think the Bengals at this point, super well handled team this season, I feel. They've really been tested, put in that crucible. And I think this is a shootout between Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow. I don't love the Texans' weapons, really. I think David Johnson looked nice in the first game. But at wide receiver, I am not believing in them at all. I am just not believing. I think Deshaun needs to hit his tight ends more from what I saw in the first game. But at this point, I think the Bengals are going to, health concerns still. It's week 16 at this point. So, depends on who's available. If the Bengals are moderately healthy, I have them winning this one also. They get the dub. And the last game of the season, week 17, the Bengals have the Baltimore Ravens. And I think that the Ravens are just too much for the Bengals to handle at this point. I think that Lamar's in his stride. I think that offensive line still going to be good. I think J.K. Dobbins is rushing for 1,000 yards. And, I think that, the tight ends are still going to be killer. I don't absolutely love the wide receiver position for the Ravens, but they're a running team for the most part anyway. The defense is decent, pretty good. Not great, but good enough to stop people. I think that, the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. I think they're going to have a great season. And I think they're going to be too much for the Bengals to handle this year. So I have the Ravens handling the Bengals and L. That is my schedule prediction for the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that Joe Burrow has a good year. I think that he'll have about 26 to 28 TDs and probably around 11 interceptions. I think that he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I think that he has a good year. I think the Bengals, I think they surprise a lot of people. I have them going 9-6. Yep, you heard it here first. Bengals are going 9-6. I believe that, and we shall see. The game starts this afternoon, and we can't wait for it. It's been a long time coming, and I am super excited. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. If you could, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It all helps. Remember, folks, it's a new day. Hoo day. Welcome to the roar. Peace.